If you could remove one event from your life, what would it be? This kid kneed me in the nuts as hard as he could in high school, and as an adult I've had constant pain for over a decade from various inguinal hernias. Fuck you, Derek. Being abused by my dad. It has really messed me up. I can't stand the nightmares. I hate that his abuse makes me scared of every man I meet. I hated having to tell my mom what happened and seeing her heart break. I hate that I loved him. He could have recovered from the drinking and gambling and I would have forgiven him. I could even forgive the spankings and the anger. But you can't be forgiven after touching your own daughter like that. There is no going back. It's not something I often talk about because I still experience shame. I lost my eyesight in my right eye because I was a teenager who thought I knew better and did not wear a paintball mask. It was such a stupid mistake and caused me an endless amount of trauma. However, I'm grateful that it taught me in hardest way that impairments are not always visual pun. At this point in my life, I have lived longer without vision in that eye than I did with. Oftentimes, it is common for me to be completely unaware that anything is abnormal about myself until I'm made to realize that something or someone is trying to grab my attention from the right side, and then it becomes a stark reminder of that stupid fateful day. Usually I shrug it off, but sometimes it still stings. So, my answer to this question is that I would have never asked my mom to buy me a paintball gun. Ultimately, I think out of all the events that shaped my being, this one has the least likelihood of having drastic butterfly effect type consequences. I came in here ready to make a my birth joke, but damn, I hope you're all doing okay these days. Being robbed by someone I considered a friend ruined my trust in people. Finding and reading the spiral-bound notebook filled with my mum's ramblings during one of her bad bipolar episodes, wherein she described being raped at the age of 20. I was 8 when I read it. I witnessed a nasty murder. I was in my Jeep with the top down and watched two guys argue on the sidewalk. I didn't want to get involved, so I just sat there. One guy pulled out a homemade knife, shank, and plunged it into the other guy's eye. The sound was horrific. I wish I had beat my horn or something and tried to get them to move along. The guy was later caught and convicted of murder, but I'll never forget the crunching sound when that knife went into his skull. Nightmares for life. Also, my motorcycle accident where I nearly lost my leg 35 years ago, that sucked. Agreeing to a deal with my parents. It led to me going to their choice of my college instead of mine, and it led to me having a ton of debt, and it led to me working dead-end jobs instead of becoming a teacher. My mom's suffering before she passed. Breaking my ankle. When I was 8, I was trying to climb my grandma's rose apple tree and shattered my ankle. I'm in my 20s and have had 7 operations on it and ended up fucking my other leg while trying to avoid injury on my shitty ankle haul because I wanted a fruit and grandma told me to wait until morning. My life would have been much easier and less painful if I listened to my gran, and now I just wish she was still here telling me that I need to clean my ears and listen more, because whenever I didn't listen to her I ended in stupid situations. My brother's suicide. I believe my life would be completely different had this not had happened. My dad dropping dead in front of me when I was a teen. Last year, when I went in for surgery to fix a broken leg and something went wrong, I woke up 18 days later with 8B. When I woke up I couldn't see, move, or speak. I can sort of walk now. I can't really see faces or read well, and I slur my words when I speak, but I'm largely functional for caring for myself. Edit. I've started an AMA. I'm slow, but I'll try to answer all questions there. Crossing a road in Melbourne in 1999. Got hit by car and given permanent brain damage, and from that moment my life changed course forever. If it hadn't happened, I would have had a much different, much less painful life. I was working part-time as a gardener, studying it, preparing to apply for uni to do a course on journalism, which I had a good chance of getting into. was also doing volunteer work with street people and paneling and presenting a couple of radio shows on a minor AM radio station. And had just done over a year of physical rehabilitation for a bad back, lots of gym and fitness work, physio, and I was about the fittest I've ever been. Then I crossed the road and everything changed forever. Hard to choose. Some of the worst brought some of the best. I would say my marriage, but it brought me my best friends that helped me after it ended. Also, she got me to volunteer with her to help rehabilitate baby songbirds at the university, something I never would have thought of doing on my own. I wouldn't give that up, even though my life sucks post-divorce. It's a tie between losing my dad and losing my sister. No need to be sorry for my loss or to feel sorry for me. I just wish I'd had longer with them. Being beaten by my dad for going to a friend's wedding. I had to go because I was the maid of honor and I already told my parents. Got home, was accused of not telling them about it, coming home late, 7 to 8 p.m, and not attending my uncle's get-together party. I knew what was gonna happen next, so I ran into my room and locked the door. Banging on the door, with me barring the door with my body. Then my dad broke in with a crowbar to beat me. Ran away after that for a while. My parents meeting, the guy's always been a dick. She deserves so much better. Either quitting college or going in the first place. My wife passing away. Let's just remove that part and have her sitting next to me right now talking about the ham she's going to make for Thanksgiving. The time I had ear surgery and the anesthesia fucked with my brain and now I can't fucking function as a person. Losing my mom. My sister's death from brain cancer. She was 21. It was a month before my 18th birthday. Miss her every day. Wasn't ready for college after that. Tried to go anyway. Failed. Now I'm in my 30s. No career. Severe depression. I feel constant guilt that she didn't get to be here but I am, and shame that I'm wasting it. If I could remove a second, it would be dating an emotionally abusive man for 9 years right after leaving college and letting him gaslight and isolate me. But I'm back in college now, at 32, and I'm really trying. I'm taking it slow, and the financial issues are a constant stressor as well as dealing with the healthcare system. But still, I'm going to make it. For Christine 3. Edit. Thank you so much for all the comments of encouragement and support. It means a lot. I'm just gonna say it, this thread is so sad. I thought for sure it would be more embarrassing, but funny stuff, but it's actually just a lot of really sad events. My sexual abuse. The day I had to call 911 on dad's mistress to trying to kill him because he decided to stay with mistress 1 for whom he left my mom and my 5 siblings for. Talk about hot mess. The bombing of the DAC Hall in Sadr City on June 24, 2008. Fuck you Colonel Dipshit who denied our request for the bomb dog and change of venue after the 6th straight day of making the same trip at the same time. RIP Captain Farley, CW3 Hammett, the other 2 soldiers, the interpreter, and the 6 Jundi who lost their lives that day. My mother telling investigators that despite there being an eyewitness, that I lied about being sexually assaulted by a grown man when I was a child. They chose to believe her instead of a traumatized broken kid. Ruined my life. I wish my easily manipulated teenaged brain wasn't talked into going to some out-of-state private school for my degree. I have since transferred to a state school and commute. It's going to take me a little longer to graduate, and I'm saving a shit ton, but because of that initial decision I'm over $75,000 in the hole and still racking it up. If you removed the death of a close friend, would that friend be alive? I just wish I stood up and kicked our varsity coach in the nuts or face when he suggested my teammates beat the shit out of me for being late to practice 1 week after my aunt and uncle passed away 5 days apart. I will never understand that moment or why it happened, but I felt like nothing, worthless. Tinnitus. Edit. Thanks for the award, the first good thing that tinnitus gave me lol. I was a victim of domestic violence from 16 to 18. but in the end it's made me a better therapy student and will make me a better therapist. I could do without the lingering PTSD and anxiety though. Having the final impressions of my teeth done after getting my braces off when I was 15. The tech thought it would be fun to put both trays in my mouth and watch me struggle to breathe. My dad just sat there and watched it all go down without batting an eyelash. Had my mom been there, it would have gone very differently. As a result, it screwed up my jaw for 17 years. I haven't trusted dentists since. First day as a dog groomer, had to help with expressing dog anal glands, and got a face full of them, and puked in front of everyone. Getting me chronic fatigue syndrome, which led to me losing my house and career, and having to live in shitty rentals and subsist on benefits. I was around 15, and I had bought a VR headset from those vending machines. Yeah, I tried watching VR porn and my mom walked in. The amount of embarrassment I felt was unreal. To this day I still get chills from it. When I was molested. Edit. Thanks for the awards. My first cigarette. When I was lured into a trap and enslaved for 6 months when I was 19. I was forced under the threat of death to work at a factory at night and do hard labor during the day, all for no pay. I was threatened with death if I told anyone. I lived on bologna and free food from the factory where I worked. I felt terrible every single day. I'm 31 now and I've, more or less, gotten over it, but I know it left its permanent damage. I now have an extreme aversion to being told what to do. Even my own mother triggers it sometimes.